This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Grant Hall is on halftime, and I had to look at my day monitor on the computer again, because the original tweet I put out for our show today said Monday. Because I mean, let's be honest, it feels like a Monday. And then all of a sudden, I thought, well, it was every Tuesday we talk with Grant Hall. No, that's wrong. It's Wednesdays that we talk with Grant Hall, so I can start to regenerate my show clock here. Grant, good morning. It's Wednesday, and now that you're here, that's what tells me it's Wednesday.
Well, how you doing? Yeah, I'm watching this. Matt Djokovic is playing at Wimbledon, and for the first time, Chris Evert is getting to commentate on one of his matches. So that's kind of interesting. And you were asking me earlier what I do in the summer. I enjoy watching Wimbledon. I enjoy watching the Tour de France, mainly for the views. I mean, it's just so incredibly beautiful there. I was watching today, the great hill climbs, and it's just so green over there. And I got to be in France one time, and so it kind of intrigues me, though I know almost nothing about the sport.
Grant, you see a fireworks show last night? Are you a firework guy?
We did. All we have to do is walk about 300 yards down the street to Fayetteville Country Club, and they had a great one. Theirs has gotten better and better each year, and those things go amazingly far distances into the sky now with all the technology they have on fireworks. So there must have been, 750,000 people there, and someone was joking that I think Channel 5 last night said anybody could come and watch this. So it was a community thing. It wasn't just Fayetteville Country Club members that could do it, I guess, and they enjoyed it. It was fun.
I set my first fireworks off last night. First time ever, age 46. Felt good about it.
And survived it.
Survived.
Was
That's
it a
right.
Roman candle or a little Twizzler? What
I don't remember what this thing was called, but it was a big finish kind of a one. I think it shot up 46 different fireworks.
Wow!
I ran a little faster than I thought I could, but it was fun. Now look, Grant, I've seen, countless fireworks shows. Living in minor league baseball for 20 years, it's not just July 4th. Some teams do fireworks every single Friday. It's just a thing. You get tired of it. I don't see fireworks as much any longer. So I was actually pretty excited about it last night in the backyard over at Jen's brother's house, and it was kind of cool. And it was the first time I ever felt like I was in the fireworks. They were.
We got to see. Yeah, we got to see one at Forest Park one time in St. Louis, which has all the history, and we played golf there. And there were masses of people, and got to see the one in Washington, D.C. one time. I actually watched a little bit of it on TV last night. It was great. Chicago was there. I still love those guys are long in the tooth, but they're still pretty good.
Oh, they're still good. Absolutely. You mentioned Wimbledon. I used to really love watching Wimbledon back when it was on HBO, and I did spend some time in the summer watching tennis, and Wimbledon was always my favorite to watch, that and the U.S. Open. And I read where I didn't realize Djokovic is coached by Goran Ivanisevic, who was one of my favorite back in the day, because he was that guy that, didn't he serve like 115, 120 miles an hour, big lefty out of Croatia? But aces, I also read, aces are kind of becoming a little bit more scarce than they were before. I guess the composition of the grass courts is different than they were before.
Yeah, unlike baseball, where more and more it seems to be all about power and home runs. And you were asking earlier about the Arkansas team and the draft and who might make it to Major League Baseball. I was thinking about that. And you saw more than I did, Phil, this year. But would you think Wagner would be in that conversation? Would Borfin be in there? I even think McIntyre, with the control he has shown lately, might be a guy. What do you think about the guys on this Arkansas team?
I think Wagner's got major league tools. I don't know where you're going to go in the draft just because of his age. Borfin's got a major league hit tool. It's just the ups and the downs are a little bit too big sometimes. I look at Jackson Wiggins. If he's healthy, and whoever drafts him is still going to have to wait quite a while for him to throw, because his surgery would have been, I guess it's late January, very early February. So whomever drafts him will have to wait at least, another 7-8 months before he's really pitching at all off of a mound. So there'll be patience with him. But I know there is definitely something in Jackson Wiggins' arm that's like, 100 miles an hour, and if he gets anywhere close to that again, he's got a major league arm. And I do think Hunter Holland has that stuff to pitch in the big leagues too.
Dave Van Horn said, I heard him the other night say that he didn't know about Hayden Miller or Walker Martin, I guess. And then what do we think about Caleb Cali? Is he going to be back, or is he going to go out?
My sense is Cali returns. That's through no conversation with him or anybody that's looking at him from major league teams. It's just this isn't anything against Cali. There are a lot of power-hitting right-handed hitters who play third base, and he's one of them. I'm not sure if there's a thing that makes him stand out amongst the others. I do like how he goes the other way. He's a line-to-line hitter, really smart hitter, and takes advantage of counts. But there's something in Cali that makes me think he's going to return for Arkansas this year, which will create some interesting things going on with some of the players they've brought in. But I think if he does return, he should be your everyday third baseman. But yeah, as far as those high schoolers are concerned, I think they brought in. What's the kid's name? Wahiwa Aloy from Sacramento State, with the knowledge that the kids that they've signed, I think there are 3 high schoolers that have signed that are shortstops. I feel really, I'd be surprised if any of them make it through and don't sign a contract. I think that's, look, you sign a kid like Aloy, not as an insurance policy, be like, well, this kid will be our shortstop if none of these kids make it here. No, you sign him to be your shortstop. So I think in the coaches' minds, they're just preparing for what they might feel is the obvious thing to happen, which is their high schoolers don't make it through.
Well, Dave's not wild about the timing. You could tell, they'd like to see this thing be done, a couple of weeks earlier and give the college coaches a chance to know what they're up against and start preparing.
Yeah, that's for sure. And if there's one thing I'd like to fix it, and it wouldn't be college baseball that has to fix it, although the one thing that college baseball could do, and they've talked about it, is move the season up. Start it a month later, and that would kind of help. That would help the coaches with getting their teams ready and know how the roster looks, because I don't see Major League Baseball ever moving their draft back to where it was before. They like where it is now. So if the college coaches want to do something about it, I think the only thing they can do is move the season up a month. I had to ask you about this statement from Tiger Woods. It just seemed to throw. Now I don't have the statement right in front of me, Matt. Maybe you saw this. Woods basically, remember Monahan, the PGA commissioner, the tour commissioner, said that there was a whole meeting at the Travelers Championship, and Woods was there, and Woods apparently gave a statement supporting Monahan as the guy to be the commissioner. And then Tiger Woods comes out over the weekend on Twitter with a very short statement that said that's the first time he ever saw this memo that had the talking points, and he was not at the Travelers Championship. So, Grant, I mean, golf is it threw the whole sport back on its head once again.
Yeah, I had a long discussion with a guy that's fairly connected in the golf industry a few minutes ago, and to me, that 35-word statement said, "I'm still here." It could have been 3 words, "I'm still here." Tiger, even though he rarely plays anymore, still moves the needle. He probably is the needle in terms of he could probably go get 3 sorority house mothers, play an exhibition, and get better ratings than most of these majors. I think that's still true. Plus, he's got Charlie, who I think is going to be a great player, and so he's going to stay connected to the game. And I even think that Tiger might play some Tour Champions golf. You can take golf carts on that tour, and he's got too much pride to do it before then. But a lot of people thought he would, that would be the last thing he would do is play senior golf. But who knows? I mean,
you got to be 50 for that.
Yeah, you got to be. So he's
47
2 years and 4 months away. Yeah. And so Longer's won 46 times. Maybe that got his attention. I don't think Tiger would play that much. I think he might kind of do like Jack Nicklaus did and just play mostly the senior majors, enough to kind of keep his name out there. And that's kind of how I read the statement. I still matter in this game, and pay attention to what you do.
I did see that where Longard won. He kind of ran away. Did you see Ricky won over the weekend as well? It was a 4.5-year drought for him. He had to come back, take the long way back.
Everybody loves Ricky Fowler, and he's probably congratulated 10 other guys that won majors, and he still hasn't, But he's been struggling, and Butch Harmon has really helped him. He had gotten so laid off back there, Matt. It was like his swing had gotten so flat, and every now and then he still does it. But he's such a great putter, and he seems to have that confidence now that, Butch Harmon's kind of the golf whisperer. So he's been playing really well.
I like Ricky around the greens. Yeah, his confidence when he be short-sighted, whatever, he always thinks he's going to be able to get up and down. And you're right, he is a great putter. Will you watch any of this NBA Summer League? And if you do, what do you want to see out of some of these Arkansas guys in the Summer League?
Very little of that, Matt. Mostly because I like to watch a lot of baseball in the summer still, and golf, obviously. Like, for example, this week, U.S. Women's Open is at Pebble Beach, and Brooke Matthews qualified. She's from Rogers. She did not retain her card last year, but she qualified into the U.S. Women's Open. And Fossey and I think Lopez, and I don't think Stacey Lewis is in it. But that's going to be interesting to watch them play at Pebble Beach and see what Michelle Wee can do in kind of her swan song. She's playing one more time, this week. But yeah, I saw some footage of Nick Smith and some of the guys. What's your thought, Matt? I mean, how good can Nick Smith be the first year in the NBA coming off his injury? Now,
Michelle Wee has one major win. Is that right?
Yeah, she won the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. I was there in 2014. Yeah,
that's right. I think Nick Smith. It's all about his knee. He's going to be a guy that he's going to have to get stronger. And this first year, I don't think. I mean, they're a young team. The thing is, Brandon Miller, I think the Hornets were like the worst team in the league, them and the Magic. So Anthony Black, and so he's going to get some opportunity. My whole thing is the dude can play. It's just, is he going to be healthy?
Yeah, and that might be a good situation for him. As bad as they are, maybe the expectations aren't that high on the individual guys. I mean, Michael Jordan, I guess, finally had to sell the rest of that team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grant, last thing, and I heard you say you're watching baseball these days. You watching a lot of Cardinals games? Because that's a tough watch, especially. I saw Wainwright. I was listening yesterday, and it was before things really got out of hand, which happened early, obviously. And I saw where was it? Wainwright, last 3 starts, Cardinals have been outscored 38-3, and he's gone on the injured list.
He went on the IL after the game last night and said he's been dealing with back pain, shoulder pain. I mean, he had to make a big deal about it, but his curveball just doesn't have that bite that it usually has, and he gave up 4 earned runs, I think, last night. But as Al Robosky said, they've now hit rock bottom, so it can't get any worse, or maybe it can.
Yes, it can.
I mean, they're 35-50 with not much of it. They just don't have the pitching this year. I don't think it's a fairly good hitting lineup, but this is an amazing stat, Phil. I heard the other day that the Cardinals lead at least the division, maybe the league, in innings pitched by starters. And that just doesn't seem right to me, but I guess it is. But, like, they played that bullpen game, though. The Yankees had a bullpen game, and every one of those guys looked like world beaters to me. So, maybe that's becoming more and more the thing in baseball.
Maybe they need to start relievers, Grant, because starting starters isn't working very well for them. My gosh.
8-17 in one-run games, and they've blown 26 leads this year. If they'd have won half those games, they'd be in good shape. So there you go.
Grant, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. It's always good talking with you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks, Grant.
Robosky says it can't get any worse.
That
Nick's halfway through the season, Al. Yes, it can get a lot worse. See what happens in the middle of August. Goodness gracious.
That Nick Smith pick, if he's healthy, that could be Jordan's best pick. I mean, getting him 27th in the first round, a guy that was going to be a top 10 pick, and it's just kind of based on his health.
At some point, he's going to be healthy.
That's right.
Sooner or later, he's going to be healthy.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.